said go.
Okay. So, remember everybody, when we find ourselves looking at a sentence that we need to identify parts of speech, parts of the sentence, and the punctuation. We always want to look for phrases and clauses first. Here we have kind of a long sentence, but I don't think that it's going to be too difficult once you find your phrases and clauses. So let's read it together. My sister Gretchen loves the song Officer Krupke from the Broadway musical West Side Story. And this is really important because as we're talking about Romeo and Juliet, I want you to look for the parallels between these two stories. My sister Gretchen loves the song Officer Krupke from the Broadway musical West Side Story. So we know, looking for phrases and clauses, we know we have a phrase starting with the word from, because from is a preposition. Where does that prepositional phrase end? Well, it ends when we hit that noun all the way at the end of the sentence. So this is a huge prepositional phrase, but there's more to it. So let's keep going. If we look at this, the is always an article. Remember those articles are a, and the. Those are always articles. Broadway is describing the musical. Okay, so therefore it's an adjective. And musical itself is a noun. Now, West Side Story is a fantastic movie, and if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I'm going to ask you to watch it. It'll be fantastic to compare, like I said. And that is the title of the musical, so remember that's a proper noun, which is why I capitalized that N. Let's go back and find the rest of our parts of speech. My sister Gretchen, that's her name. We need to capitalize that. Sister is a common noun, we know that. And she's mine, she belongs to me. Me, my, I are all first person pronouns, first person. But she belongs to me, therefore she's possessive. It's a possessive pronoun, and that should be on your note card, you know that. If you're doing something, if you're loving something, that's going to be an action verb. We already talked about that as an article. That song is a common noun, but the title of the song is a proper noun. Okay? Now, you see two separate instances where there are nouns back to back. And usually we don't do that in the English language, but if we are doing it, you know that this is going to be an appositive. So, looking at my sister Gretchen, what is your subject? Oh, that's right. Sister is the subject. Gretchen just gives you more information about who my sister is. Therefore, Gretchen is your appositive. The song Officer Krupke is telling you more about the song. And West Side Story is telling you more about that musical. So how many appositives do we have in this sentence? 3. You're absolutely right. Okay. Now, if she's doing it, right, we have to figure out if that verb is transitive or intransitive. Only action verbs can be transitive or intransitive. Is there anything that's receiving the action? Is the song receiving the loving? Oh yeah, absolutely. Therefore, that song is your direct object and your verb is transitive. Okay, looking at from the Broadway musical, you know anytime you're looking at your preposition, you're finding the object of the preposition, and in this case, it's the musical, because a positive is already doing something in the sentence. Okay? All right. Now, how many clauses do we have? How many subjects and verbs do we actually have in the sentence?
3.
You have 3? Don't rock. You have 3? How many subjects do you have? 1. And how many verbs do you have? 1. And so if you come over here and you look at our sentence types, what kind of sentence is it that has 1 subject and 1 verb? What kind does that? What has one subject and one verb?
I see.
I see. And what kind of sentence is that?
Simple.
Simple. That's a simple sentence. You better believe it. We have ourselves a simple sentence. There's one subject and one verb. And it's a complete thought. So we better make sure we capitalize that word my, because it's the beginning of your sentence. We better make sure we capitalize Gretchen. She's important. So is the name of the song, Officer Krupke, and so is West Side Story. And you better put a period in there, because that's important too. Now, I'm going to let you think for a minute. You keep it focused here, Elsa. I'm going to let you think for a minute. See if you remember. Do you need all of these appositives? Remember, there's a very important rule when it comes to appositives, whether they're essential or non-essential. Is it essential that you know that Gretchen is my sister? That's the one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes, because otherwise I might have 7 sisters and you don't know which one I'm talking about. So her name is essential. Because she is important, we have no commas.
Okie dokie.
Is the song title essential? Do you need to know which song she loves?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, you don't know what I'm talking about. Therefore, you need no commas. If I'm going to talk about this specific song, do you need to know what musical it's from?
Yes.
Absolutely. It is essential. Therefore, you need no commas. Last piece of information. Officer Krupke is a small part of a larger, I'm going to do it like this, a larger story. And so remember, if you have something smaller, like a poem or a song, you want to use quotation marks. If you have something larger or longer, like a book title or a movie title, you want to underline it. Now, remember, you can also italicize it. However, on the whiteboard, that's really hard to do. And there we go. There's our sentence of the day.
Well, second, actually.
Have a great day.